Welcome to the Intuitive Therapist Podcast with Janis R. Cohen, therapist, clairvoyant, empath, and medium. Listen in as she takes a no-nonsense deep dive into real human struggles and how to resolve them. Janis will share channeled information from her spirit guide team, as well as the angels and archangels, to help you master your emotional, physical, financial, and spiritual destiny. And now, Janis R. Cohen.
Hey y'all, this is Janis Cohen, the Intuitive Therapist here on the Intuitive Therapist Podcast. Welcome to today's episode, the spells you're casting in your life. I wanted to talk about this very unique topic because it's been a huge lesson for me to learn in this lifetime, and I can only imagine that if I'm being shown to share it with you, it's likely that you need to hear about it. So I'm talking about how you're casting spells in your life. And this is through your thoughts. Now, I don't want you to get all paranoid about it because that's not what today's episode is about. What I do want you to become is educated about just how powerful you really are in your life. And to finally understand why the words you speak have such a heavy influence on how you experience your life, even if you haven't figured that out yet. They're powerful. So, this spell casting concept is not anything that has to do with witchery or anything like that. It's not like that. Even though we're all intuitive and psychic and powerful beyond measure, it's really more about how impactful the words you use in your life are, about how you speak about your life and about you, that are making a marked difference in how you experience your life. So, did you know that with each word that you speak, you're casting a spell? Words have power. Just not just the ones that you're speaking aloud, but the ones that you whisper to yourself in the quiet moments, the ones that are on autopilot that you believe. And the power behind them, it's not just from the words per se. Words do have an energy with them. It's really a combination of the words, because they have a weight, and the emotional, the energetics behind the words you use. Every thought, every sentence is like a spell that shapes your reality, and it will either determine whether or not something is for your benefit or not. So, are you a person who feels like you keep stepping from one pile of poo to another? Constantly unlucky, nothing ever works out for you, and you just can't get a break. Well, if that's you, and believe me, there are many of you out there that still feel this way. Today is going to change how you speak about yourself in your life if you allow it to. If you want to get out of that story that you've created that you're just unlucky, nothing ever works out, you get to decide to change that, but you don't have to. And honestly, if you don't want to change this story, and if you think what I'm about to tell you is a bunch of BS, then shut down this podcast episode. I don't want you listening to it because you're not going to receive it. But if you're open, and you're saying to yourself, I'm sick and tired of feeling this way, I want to change this, then please keep listening. So, today we're going to uncover how the language you use impacts your identity, your subconscious mind, and your experience of life. And by the end of this episode, you're going to have practical tools to transform your internal dialogue and a powerful journal prompt, which I encourage you to do to help you release the limiting beliefs and to align with your highest timeline. So let's dive in. Now, every word you speak carries energy. Think about it. When you say things like, I'm so bad at this, or I'm so fat, or I'm just so unqualified for this, or I'll never be able to do that, you're casting a spell over your life. You don't even realize you're doing that. It's automatic. And very interestingly enough, I have to tell you, this is one lesson my husband has been teaching me in our relationship, is that, and I've gotten out of this probably about 90%. He would say, why do you criticize yourself so much about such and such? I'm like, I do? He's like, yeah. And I'm tired of hearing about it. Speak positively about your life, about yourself. And I was like, okay, I will. And I've done that. And it's made a marked difference in my life because I'm consciously choosing to focus on the good in me. And it's allowed me to feel really, really good about myself. So when your subconscious mind, it's like your subconscious mind believes what you tell it. Your mind is your brain is just this organ that you get to control, right? So when you say these things, I'm bad at this, I'll never be able to do that, your subconscious mind takes that as truth because there's so much energy behind that statement because you believe it so wholeheartedly that it works to make that a reality so that you constantly feel that way. Now, the reason why your subconscious mind takes these words as truth is because your brain can't differentiate between what's actually happening and what you tell it that it's happening. It just it it does what you tell it to do. Your brain thinks what you tell it to. Your brain believes what you tell it to. It's simply something that is so insanely amazing and yet incredibly trainable. And most of us, you don't even really realize that. These are things like some of you may say, oh, I can't control my brain. My thoughts are so automatic. And, who's it? I'm like, yeah, you can, because I've done it. I've figured it out. I've learned how to do that to control my brain. And I'm going to teach you about how to do that over time. But most of us have no freaking clue how powerful we are over our brains. And human beings, listen to this, you've heard of these stories. Human beings healing themselves through their words and energy and focus. I've heard people, many, many stories of people who've been terminally ill with cancer or with some other issue. And they come to love their body so much that they literally see their body healing and they heal. So human beings can manifest anything they want to simply by intentionally choosing the words that they use, and they put the right energy behind the words that they use. You can do this. If you intentionally choose the words that you use, you can shift the way you experience life. And it's all about what's going on internally that shapes your world. And the words you use from any particular perspective, it creates the external world that you live in. It all starts inside. That's no joke. And on the flip side, positive and intentional language can create an entirely different reality. For example, I'm learning and growing every day. Oh my God, how beautiful is that, right? I trust myself to navigate challenges with grace and ease. And if you don't, then you've got some limiting beliefs you got to work through. How about this one? Everything is always working out for me. I love that one. Another one is I choose to know and believe that. And you just keep filling in the blank of that. I'm a magnet for wealth, good health, and abundance, and all the right people. Money comes to me easily and effortlessly. Now, these affirming words, they reinforce an identity that you're choosing to step into. And you won't believe them if you're not vibrationally aligned with that identity that believes them, that embodies that, right? So the affirming words that you choose, they reinforce your identity as somebody who's capable, resilient, and evolving. Language creates a feedback loop between your thoughts, beliefs, and external experience. And when you finally realize that you, and I'm going to keep saying this, you're living in a simulation where you get to control how you perceive things and the meaning you decide to ascribe to your experiences, then that's the game changer. Now, the subconscious mind, it doesn't filter or analyze, it just absorbs. That's why the way you speak about yourself matters so much. Here are some key ways that your words shape your subconscious. Okay? Identity reinforcement is the first one. Phrases like, I'm just not a morning person, or I'm not good at math. They create a fixed identity. I am so guilty of this. I happen to be a morning person. I love the mornings. I wake up very easily. But I I have said some of these things, right? I'm just not this. I'm not good at this. That's not who I am, right? But it creates a fixed identity. We want to get out of that. So instead, you might say, instead of saying, I'm not a morning person or I'm not good at math, you could say, well, I'm learning to enjoy mornings, or math is a skill I can improve. If you say, oh, I don't have any control over uh, uh, my life or money or people or this or that, I say, how about you say, with every word I choose, I create my reality. How powerful is that, right? Now, the second piece that I want to talk to you about, second key way, is when you emotionally anchor. Now, negative self-talk, it triggers feelings of the not good feelings, right? The shame, the fear, the inadequacy, the confusion, right? And that is what keeps you stuck in these limiting patterns. Every time you speak a limiting sentence, it keeps you anchored in the past. And we don't want to be anchored in the past. We only want to be focused on the now because that's all we have. Every experience you have is always in the now. There is no past, present, future. There's only now. And so when you're stuck in limiting patterns, you're resisting letting go of that old version of yourself. So if you want to change something in your life, a pattern, perhaps a behavior, right? You got to speak that into existence by focusing only on the life that you want, combined with the feeling of it as if it's already actually happened. Okay? That's the work. There's a gap between, you could say, oh my God, I live in this amazing mansion. I have this unbelievable car, money flow. I live in surplus with everything. And then your feeling is like, that's, of course that's not true because I'm living in this shithole apartment, or my car is 20 years old, or I don't have all this. Your ego is going to try to tell you, are you kidding me? That's not your reality. That'll never be your reality. Your reality is what you're looking at. But what if you could change that? What if that wasn't the truth? What if the reality that you're living isn't reality at all? It's just simply how you choose to see what's happening in your life, and that you choose to see it in a particular way. And then what happens by your choice, you experience life. So, positive self-talk generates feelings of hope, confidence, and motivation, which propels you forward, right? So we want to be constantly speaking of what we're grateful for. The minute you, and I said that, I can't remember if I said it in this episode or the other one that I had just recorded, which is um, that you want to be mindful of how often you complain. And every time you complain, you want to shift that into a blessing, a grateful, a thank you. Today, it's cold as it's so cold outside for me here in Georgia. I love the warm weather, but it's like in the 20s, and I'm not happy. I'm not happy about having to dress in 12,000 layers to walk out in walk the dog, and the wind that's blowing, it's like cutting my face up. I'm like, ugh. And then I was like, nope, I'm committed. I'm committed to experiencing everything as a blessing. And so I say, thank God I get to have all the clothes to keep me warm. And thank God I get to walk. And thank God I have my dog that I love. And thank you, thank you, thank you. That's what I do. Changes everything. Now, a third key piece is manifestation and reality creation, right? So when you say things like, nothing ever works out for me, your subconscious mind seeks proof of that belief. If you feel like you keep stepping from one pile of poo to the next, this is what you're believing. Nothing ever works out for you, right? So your subconscious mind is going to go, well, that's what we believe. Then, okay, we're going to see that in everything. But when you say opportunities flow to me with ease, everything always works out for me. It's just that if I'm attached to an outcome, that's my problem. It's the attachment. Experiences have no energetic charge of positive or negative. They're just energy. They're just things. We decide the charge that we have to it. We decide if it's negative or positive, right? So opportunities flow to me with ease. And you're going to start noticing and creating those opportunities. Gratitude is everywhere. Blessings are everywhere. Um, Miracles are going to happen today. So all you're doing is programming your brain to believe what you want it to believe. That's really what you're in charge of. You can program your brain. How cool is that? Now, how do you become more aware of the language you're using? Here's some practical steps. I have a few. First is start observing your thoughts and words without judgment. Just observe. Go and be curious. Go, oh my God, I thought that thought, huh? And then go, what's a better way to say it? How can I find a blessing? So you could spend a day like I did yesterday, and I'm doing it today again. I'm going to choose to do it every day. Be so aware of when I complain that I shift it into a blessing, that eventually, automatically, I'm programming my brain that if I complain, it becomes a blessing. Okay? So, or you can write down any recurring phrases that feel limiting or negative, and then you could look at and go, huh, okay, I'm not going to judge it, but I am going to choose to see it differently in a positive way. And I love doing this exercise, like I said, giving yourself 24 hours to no complaining. And if you find yourself in a negative mood or saying something negative, right? Simply move into gratitude and curiosity about the issue. And you go, well, I wonder what learning opportunity is in this for me. If I choose to see it as a blessing, every time I choose to see something challenging as a blessing or negative as a blessing, I honor myself. And when I honor myself, I'm closer to God that way, which is really cool. You call God, spirit, source, the light, whatever you believe in. The second is to flip the script. And so for every negative phrase, I want you to create a positive and neutral alternative. Like, for example, okay, I can't do this. Ugh, I don't know how to do this. I want you to say, I'm figuring this out step by step. How about, I'm always screwing things up. I want you to try, well, I'm going to learn from every experience and grow better and better and better. This work is powerful, y'all. It's not work you rush through. Take your time. Savor it like the most delicious meal you've ever had. Savor every positive thought you have. And if a thought comes up for you like, oh, this is so stupid, she's talking about crap, then you've got some limiting belief work to do about what's possible for you. Because the more you resist, the more that persists. And what you're truly capable of deserving of is a freedom that is the most unbelievable to experience. When you free yourself from your mind and you step into the observer mode of your life, and then you make decisions from there, decisions that only feel good, holy moly, how your life will change. This is not fluff stuff to do for a moment and then your whole life is going to change. Nope. It's a habit. It's a pattern. It's a decision every day, every moment to make. And it's based on the idea of being incredibly intentional about who you are, the words that you speak into existence, and the words that you say to yourself. So remember, your brain believes what you tell it to. So what exactly do you want it to believe about what's possible for you in your life? Now, the third is to speak in the present tense. Any of you that have studied spirituality and affirmations, you know that there's no I will, I can, I might. It's I am. And the reason why those words are so powerful, I am, is because what you're doing is you're declaring that that already exists. You're connecting vibrationally with the reality where it already exists. So instead of saying, I'll be confident, I'll be strong, I'll be fit, I'll be at my uh, driving license weight, you say, I am confident. I am at my driver's license weight. I am healthy. I am rich. I am abundant. Because this reinforces the belief that you're already embodying that energy. And if you've been a student of manifestation, then you've heard the I am statement, right? If you understand what manifestation is, and that every single human being is manifesting all of the time, then you realize that you're just as powerful as the richest person in the world to claim what's yours, as the happiest person in a marriage is yours. All you have to do is learn how to control your thoughts and your energy, and you're on your way to live a life that you have always dreamed of. And if you're in the habit of bitching and complaining, take 24 hours and be the observer. Notice how often you do it and what you say, and turn each of those things into a blessing. The fourth one is surround yourself with positive language. Okay? Create an environment that supports uplifting thoughts. And it could be through affirmations on your mirror. I can tell you, if you actually saw my computer screen, I have different sticky notes that say all sorts of different things. I have things all over my wall, always. Affirmations on the mirror, empowering books, and even people that you spend time with. There's truth that is told when the people you become the sum total of the people that you surround yourself with. And specifically, the saying is you become the sum total of the top five people that you hang around with all the time. I'm always looking for at affirmative things in my office, because it really does keep me on track with my mind, my goals, and my thoughts, and my energy. It determines my reality. Now, here's a journal prompt to help you uncover and release the limiting beliefs. Write, and I've talked about this before. You can go back to other podcast episodes where I talked about eliminating limiting beliefs. But I want you to write down a belief that you hold about yourself in your life that feels limiting. Just be honest with yourself. We all have them. And this is lifetime work. I still have them. I'm going to be working on this stuff for the rest of my life. So, and that's the work that I do every morning, is I journal and I vomit up everything that's on my mind and on my heart, and identify a belief that I'm struggling with. And then you ask yourself, does this belief, does it belong to me? And if it doesn't, then you got to give it back to whoever it belonged to. But is this true, right? And if it's absolutely true, which not 100% of the negative beliefs are not, because the only things that are actually 100% true are the ones that are true for everybody all the time. Okay? Like gravity, like breathing, like the sun always shines, the grass is always green, right? Next, reframe it into a statement that's aligned with your highest timeline. Get in touch with that highest version of yourself who has everything you want. A limiting belief, for example, might be, she's so lucky. She's got all this money. Her business is successful. I'll never be that successful. And I'd like you to reframe that into, if she can do it, I know I can do it. Or I'm capable of creating success on my terms. Right? I live a life I love. I can change anything in my life that I want using my thoughts and intention. The words that you use create a sense of power in your life, or powerlessness. Okay? Now, I hope today has been helpful to you. Creating a life you love, it's not difficult. You're going to encounter circumstances in your life that are going to try to kind of knock you off your path. They're designed, in all honesty, to keep you on your path, because as you decide that you can choose what an experience means to you, then you're going to remember that you can create your life in every single moment. You just got to get the right best focus and the right best words to get you where you want to go. Remember, your words are powerful spells, so speak with intention, compassion, and alignment with the life you want to create. Practice mindful self-talk and use today's journal prompt to release any limiting beliefs. Literally dive deep into that limiting belief work. So I want to leave you with this one affirmation. My words are powerful. I speak life, love, abundance, and possibility into my reality with every word I speak. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with somebody who could use this reminder, right? Let's create a ripple effect of empowered intentional language in the world, and it starts with you. And the people are going to go, oh my God, when they see all the drastic shifts in your energy, your light, your life, the opportunities, the people, they're going to go, what in the world happened to you? And then you're going to explain to them, well, I changed how I spoke about my life. I looked at everything in my life as a blessing, that if it worked out, great. If it didn't, even better, because I'm good. Until next time, have a blessed day, a wonderful week, and as always, live intuitively.
Thanks for listening to The Intuitive Therapist. If you like what you heard, the best compliment you can give us is to share this podcast with a friend. And be sure to give us some stars and a favorable review at Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen in.